Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, we regret to inform you that this episode has been canceled and will be retooled by Retro Studios. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We have got a good show for you today. We are going to be talking about the news from the week, including, of course, the Metroid Prime 4 news. And then on Thursday, come back because we are going to be talking about Nintendo games that should have been canceled. I promise that we've got a more positive spin on it than just should have been canceled. Right? Mark, we have a slightly more positive.
We do.
Okay.
We do. Because we're just sunny people. It's inevitable.
Yeah. It's, do you consider yourself a sunny person?
I mean, I think we are both in our own way, like little Orphan Annie.
Yes, we know things might be bad right now, but things will be better tomorrow.
We both have dogs that we found in a dumpster that were being bullied. I'm trying to remember exactly how Sandy came into her life, but we both have shocking red hair, if nothing else.
Right. I don't know what you've been picturing as you've been listening to this show, but shocking red hair and adorable little red dresses.
I mean, we're really cute.
We are so cute. Also, we are men in our 30s. We have giant hands.
You can be both.
We can be both, yeah.
We can be both.
You're right. Mark, I'm sorry. Of course we can be both. You can also be both if you would like to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces. This is a bad transition. The worst I've ever done.
I love it.
Okay, if you would like to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces, here's something you need to know. It came back to me.
We did it. The
Yay,
system
the system works. My faith in mankind has been restored. It is here.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
I love you, Sonic Warbucks. Look, this game is going to go out to whoever emails me next. There's a list at this point, but you can put your name on this list. All you need to do is email us at nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com with your mailing address, and we send this thing to you. You play it. That's fun.
It costs you nothing.
It does, Mark. It costs you nothing. That is 100% correct. Here's something that you can do. Something else you can do that costs you nothing. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
We genuinely appreciate it.
We bring up the reviews and we read them to each other and we giggle and we, brush our bright red hair together and have a wonderful time. But you can give us a 5-star review just like Courtwag44 did. Thanks, Courtwag44, who found us through Teen Creeps.
Which is a great place to find us through.
That's because I'm on there a lot and Mark's been on there. All right, here's something else you need to know. And this one could cost you some money. In the month of March, we are going to do a whole month of weird retro sequels. Mark, what do I mean?
Exactly what you said.
Thank you.
We have picked 4 sequels that are weird in their own way. Mm-hmm. And each week in March, we're going to be playing one of them and then talking about it. Talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we would love you to participate with us.
Yeah, so for the very first one of these on March 7th, we are talking about Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, which, of course, you can find on your NES Classic Edition, on your Nintendo Switch Online, on the 3DS, on the Wii U Virtual Console. Basically, anywhere you can find a game, you can find Zelda 2 at this point. And then on the 14th, we're going to be doing Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, which is available on the 3DS Virtual Console.
On the 21st, we're going to be playing Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. This one, by far the hardest to get. We're lucky that Patrick has it on his Wii Virtual Console that he can play through the Wii U.
That's right. And if you also bought it at some point or still have points and are listening to this the day it comes out, you got one more day to buy this thing.
Yeah.
And then the Wii Shop is gone forever.
Well, you can't buy it. You have one more day to download it.
To spend your points on it.
Yes.
If you already spent money on points and you have the points and you were waiting until literally the last minute, you could download Zoda's Revenge, Star Tropics 2, or Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. I'm not sure which one is the subtitle.
And then we'll be closing it out on March 28th with Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, available on the 3DS Virtual Console and the Wii U Virtual Console.
So play along with us, send in your thoughts, and we're going to play some weird games.
Some real weird sequels.
Retro games. All right, Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. It seems to me that you and I are creatures of habit that have fallen into now some pretty comfortable routines. I am still playing through Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on my Wii U, and I am still playing it the slow plodding way where I beat a level and then I immediately go right back into it so I can collect all the letters and all the puzzle pieces.
Are you playing just Donkey Kong? Are you who are your characters of choice?
Yeah, who am I going to most frequently? I would say Dixie's my number one.
Yeah, Dixie's great in this game. Having that little extra
that little bit of height at the end of her jump is very useful because I think she'll get as far as Diddy with his little jetpacks, but he doesn't have that extra vertical. But I also find myself going to Cranky a lot, especially as I'm trying to collect stuff. There are a lot of just spiky areas that it is useful to be able to get down there and actually bounce off them with his little pogo stick.
How far are you into the game?
Just the third island at this point.
I mean, that's pretty far if you're trying to get everything.
And let me tell you what I am doing to get everything. Squawks the Parrot. Do you know about Squawks the Parrot?
Can't remember. What does he do?
My gosh. Oh my gosh.
Does he show you where stuff is?
So Squawks, when you have the Squawks the Parrot item, you use it at the beginning of the level, and he appears in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, just sort of sitting on a branch. And when you are near a puzzle piece, Squawks gets excited. And he's like, wah! And so he makes a little noise, and you can see him looking around. He doesn't ever move, and he doesn't show you where a puzzle piece is, but he just shows you that one is nearby. And if it's one of those things where you have to collect all the bananas in a certain amount of time, he'll get more excited as you get closer to it.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end, when you just have one more banana to collect, he's stomping around on his branch and waving his wings around. He loves it. He's so excited that you're going to get a puzzle piece. And then you do, and then he calms down. So first of all, I just like having a character on the screen cheer for my success. That's incredible. All games, whether or not it's meant to tell you that there is something awesome about to happen or a secret, there should just be a character on screen who's happy for you doing well. That's great. But second of all, it turns a game that is, fairly impenetrable in a lot of ways, if you're trying to actually 100%, and makes it doable.
Yeah, because it can be frustrating going through those levels multiple times, just being what am I missing?
Where is it? And usually on my first run I will get a little bit more than half of the puzzle pieces, and then when I go back through it, then I'll usually get all but one or two, and it's that one or two that would be very frustrating to actually find on my own. But having Squawks there, you still have to earn it, and you still have to figure out why he's excited. But yeah, it has changed the way I experience that game. And I used to think Squawks the Parrot was a throwaway Donkey Kong friend if we were to do a ranking of Donkey Kong friends, and that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, wait, we probably will at some point.
All right, I'm just saying Squawks is going right to the top for me because he's happy for my successes. And Mark, who in this world is?
No, that's fun. That's really fun. I have never used him in all my time playing Tropical Freeze.
I mean, it's almost an easy mode. But not really. It's an easy for 100%ing it. And it should just be an option that you can turn on. Do you want Squawks to help you? Because it's perfect. I think it makes the game worlds better. And it is a buried little secret.
So I've been playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Happy to say that I finally unlocked every character.
Yay!
I had less to unlock than I thought I did. And part of that was the way that, 74 characters, 73 or whatever, are counted. Pokemon Trainer counts as 3 different ones, and that sort of thing. So I was further along than I thought I was. I think I'm going to get the DLC characters, which I wasn't sure about before, but I wish you were able to you were like forced to unlock them in the same way that you are the rest of the roster.
Yes,
Like I wish
yeah.
they, even though you're paying for it, I wish they weren't just like gifted to you and just
That you
showed up.
still had to at least challenge them.
I think so, because that's kind of been like my favorite part of the game so far.
Yeah.
Is just slowly unlocking characters and having to challenge them.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, we're not going to get all 5 of them at the same time. It'll be like 2 months, here's a character, 2 months, here's a character, 2 months, maybe more.
Yeah, I just like the challenger approach. Like I like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I like the presentation. I'm all
the
about
pageantry
spectacle.
is fun, yes. Who was the last character for you to unlock?
Who was the last character? It was.
Was it Palutena for you? I feel like that is a common experience for people.
It might have been Palutena. It might have been Palutena. She was definitely one of the last ones.
One of the later ones.
So it was like Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario was late.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Yeah, it might have been Palutena. It obviously did not particularly stick with me.
Right. You weren't like, finally I can play as Palutena. Also, obviously, we've been playing some of these retro games for our upcoming retro episodes, but we'll talk about those when the time comes. Other than, I just want to quickly mention that I picked up Mario Land 2 6 golden coins last night, and I'm already having a blast with that game. I think it's really fun. All right, so that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
All right, today, January 29th, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy is being released on Switch. So this is a GameCube game that THQ Nordic is re-releasing on the Switch. I feel like this is an odd choice.
I mean, that's what THQ Nordic is, though, right? Is an odd choice.
I mean, very fair.
I'm sorry, I'm going to look this up. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. I didn't do any research here. Yeah. No, I don't. I'm seeing like a weird looking pharaoh.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like one of those bargain bin GameCube games. I'm a little bit baffled why this is being brought back, but it is.
Is it not coming to the shop digitally?
I think it is. I think it's both.
All right. Weird.
What?
No, just
weird.
Just weird.
Yes,
Sphinx
just
and
weird.
the Cursed Mummy. I don't know. That's very strange.
And then on February 1st, Wargroove is coming out.
I was just asking about this game and saying, Wargroove, where are you? And then I was also saying, hey, we can see the Wargroove like emblem or icon, whatever you want to call it, on the Switch, on their Twitter. And when is this game coming? Is it coming soon? Mark, it's coming soon. It's coming on Friday.
Very soon.
I am very excited for this. This is going to be a day one purchase for me. I'm going to play me some Wargroove. We're going to get into a little bit more talk about Wargroove later in the show, so I will withhold any further comment.
And then also just want to call out that on Monday, February 4th, Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, and Star Fox 64 3D all become Nintendo Selects. You can pick them up for $19.99 here in the States, in-store, and on the eShop.
And those are all games worth playing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up Majora's Mask 3D. If not on Monday, definitely soon.
Definitely sometime. All right. So those are the new releases. Mark, let's close out this segment. Now it's time for a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Today, Mark, we've got a question, and the question is, what is the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
Very quickly, before we
Yes.
get into the specifics,
Yes.
what is your spice tolerance in general?
So I would say that my base spice tolerance is like fairly high. If we're having like, I don't eat chicken, but if I'm in a like chicken wings like scenario where there's like, hot dipping sauces of any kind, or if I'm in like any kind of chain restaurant, like I'll have it as spicy as they can do it, and that's all like fine for me. where like it goes into the like challengingly spicy, I tap out almost immediately. Any food that is like trying to hurt me, I have an adversarial relationship with, which I feel like is totally
warranted.
Totally warranted.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you?
I about the same. I really enjoy spicy food, but it has to be spicy with a purpose.
Yes.
Like there has to be like flavor involved. It can't just be all burn.
Right. So with that out of the way, do you have something that sticks out in your head as the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
There was a like green curry. What was it called? I can't remember specifically, but like at a Thai restaurant on Sunset.
At Jitlada?
Yes, at Jitlada.
Yes.
And that is probably the spiciest thing I've ever eaten. But it was on a date, and I was trying to look cool.
No, you were not.
And so,
Jitlada is a great, like very well regarded Thai restaurant in LA. It was one of like Jonathan Gold's like special little spots in Los Angeles.
Is that what they were called?
No. I obviously couldn't come up with it, and my mind was like, just riff something, it'll be good. And I said special little spots.
I kind of like it.
But they are, the food there is famously spicy. The Matt Groening, I guess, used to go to that place all the time, and he left like drawings of like Bart Simpson and like Life is Hell characters with like their tongues all like wavy and like hot lines coming out of their mouths.
There are Matt Groening drawings all over
everywhere.
This restaurant. It's great. Yeah. So on a date, trying to be like, who me? I like spicy things. And then, trying to eat it and then being like, are you okay? Is it too spicy? You're just like sweating.
Yes.
Can't have enough water. And you're just like trying to play it off as cool. Not cool.
Do you remember what it was? Because
no, I can't remember what it was. A special. It wasn't something that was like. It is there regularly, but it's not like it wasn't just like a green curry.
Right.
It was.
What was it? The Southern curry? Because the Southern curry is so hot. I remember there was a time that me, and our friend Chuck got food from there, and he got. It was maybe even like a special version of the Southern curry, and Chuck's got like an iron stomach, and he likes spicy food, and so he was like, "I got this, no problem." But he. Turned like bright red and was just sweating all over everywhere. It was too much. It was too spicy even for him. I believe.
How about you?
No, I mean I am going to be boring and say also curry from Jitlada. This has just turned into you and me talking about Jitlada, which I enjoy. I'm trying to think if there's anything like else from another like period in my life where I ate something spicy, but like. I don't really seek that out, and if like someone dares me to like have something spicy, I'm not going to.
Right.
Did you ever eat like those really like sour like those like dangerously sour candies?
Like Warheads?
Yeah, like when there were like the atomic warheads.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I regularly used to eat so many of those that there's like a warning on the package. The stuff that makes them sour is really acidic, and it like will burn your tongue and the roof of your mouth.
Oh my God.
And I would eat so many of them that regularly that would happen to me. And so anything you eat afterwards like irritates it.
Oh no.
And doesn't taste correctly because you have burned your taste buds off of your tongue.
See, this is what I'm saying. Why are we doing this?
I still love atomic warheads.
You're a sour candy boy.
I am, but I try not to eat candy in general, because once I eat one, I like fall down into that well.
Right.
I'm like a Pringles commercial. Once you pop, I can't stop.
Right, that's right.
And so I don't eat them anymore. But I guess
we will never know. We were accompanied today by the K2 Orchestra. All right, Mark, let's get into the news. I'm just going to drink some water. All this talk of spicy food.
Last Friday, Nintendo posted a video to their official YouTube channel giving a status update on Metroid Prime 4. In the video, Nintendo's General Manager of Planning and Development, Shinya Takahashi, announced that development on the game has not been going as planned, and that the project would be rebooted from scratch, this time with Retro Studios at the helm.
Huge news. Very little pomp and circumstance around this announcement. There's a video. There's a man standing in front of a white screen apologizing.
Yeah.
Which and it's not like a normal like Nintendo brand ambassador or someone that they normally put out to like get us hyped up about something. It is very much, dad's coming into the room to shut everything down.
Yeah, Shinya Takahashi is very high up at Nintendo at this point.
Yeah. But isn't it's not like Koizumi or Mr. Miyamoto or someone that you put out front because you're like, we've got a Mario game on iPhone.
Right.
This is someone coming into like, I'm about to be a bummer. Here's the bummer.
And it is a little bit of a bummer. So the game was revealed with just a title in E3 2017.
That's correct.
And we haven't heard anything about it since. There have been rumors that popped up. Eurogamer had previously reported that Bandai Namco Singapore and their Bandai Namco Japan studio were both helping with the game, but we never had an official announcement of who was developing it.
Yeah.
We knew like Retro wasn't on it, but other than that, it was all kind of up in the air. I don't know. There's kind of a lot to talk about here. So, as a follow-up to this, like after the video was posted, reports began to surface that shed some additional light on the situation. According to Game Informer senior editor Imran Khan, he was posting on Twitter, and he said that Nintendo had split the development between multiple studios around the world.
Sure. So that's where the Bandai Namco Singapore feeds into what you were talking
right.
about. Right.
Yeah. And those were just like two of an unknown number that were working on it. And apparently development was going well in some studios, but in other parts they were really struggling. And before the Game Awards in December, there were lots of rumors that we even talked about that Nintendo planned to show off a first look at Metroid Prime 4 there, but it never happened.
Yeah.
And so some of the speculation is that the game maybe missed a milestone in late November, early December, and that's when they decided to go ahead and reboot it. And so that's why there were lots of rumors that it was going to show up at the Game Awards, because that was the plan. But then when it didn't come together as they expected, then everything got put on ice.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It would also sort of explain, I think, why we haven't really, or it could be a part of, like a contributing factor to why we haven't seen a Nintendo Direct yet this year. That maybe Metroid Prime 4 would have been a big part, or at least a part of that, to be like, here's some stuff we're working on, or here's what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because
I guess if it's at the Game Awards, it would be a little redundant too.
Especially because again, this is pure speculation, guess is that Metroid Prime 4 was not intended to be a 2019 title.
Yeah, and I also there was never been anywhere that has suggested 2019, and I think people that have been expecting it to come out this year are I think that's some wishful thinking.
I think so too. There are rumors that a Metroid Prime trilogy is done and in the can, like for Switch, is ready to go, and that it was also supposed to be revealed in December, maybe at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
And was planned or is still planned for release sometime this year. Which again is part of the reason why I don't think that Metroid Prime 4, if that is true, Metroid Prime 4 was not intended for 2019, because that's way too much Metroid Prime in 1 year.
That's a lot of Metroid Prime in 1 year. And it doesn't seem like a smart release strategy that you would want to put it out like a year in advance, maybe even more.
Yeah, like it'd be like if Bayonetta 1 and 2 came out for the Switch in February last year, and then in like September or October they released Bayonetta 3. It's just too much Bayonetta.
Right, because the people who want to play new Bayonetta will just like, okay, I'll wait for the new one. Or other people will be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm excited about Bayonetta, I'll get the old ones, and then they will have played through 2 games and be like, I'm good for a while. You don't need that much Bayonetta.
Yeah, you really don't, and you definitely don't need that much Metroid Prime.
I also I know that there are rumors that the collection has been done for a while. I still don't know. Like, there's so much reworking that has to go in to making Prime Trilogy work on Switch. Because you have to up-res it to HD. You have to use the widescreen versions, which is fine. Those are from the Wii. But you can't use the motion control versions because the Switch isn't set up the same way as the Wii is. So it has to be some weird amalgamation of the original versions with their original control schemes, plus Metroid Prime 3 with the control scheme of the original, or some weird new third control scheme, plus all up-res to HD.
Yeah, no, it definitely does seem like
Plus, you're going to put Hunters and Pinball on there.
it does seem like a project.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god. If Metroid Prime Pinball is part of this collection, I'll be so happy.
That'd be amazing. An HD 1080p 60 frames per second Metroid Prime Pinball.
That's right. Online leaderboards.
So, I guess the response to this has been very interesting to me. People are obviously disappointed.
Yeah.
But the general reaction is very positive.
Yeah, that people are just like, okay, don't give me a bad Metroid Prime game.
Yeah.
Because that's basically all they're telling us right now is
Right.
like, you still don't know when this game is coming out. It's still a long time from now, and it won't be a version that we're not happy with. Because if they did this once, they'll do it again.
Yeah. And Takahashi's very straightforward in the video. He's like, unfortunately, this means I don't know when we're going to talk about this game again.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while because we're starting from the very beginning. I feel like so people are obviously disappointed, but they're not angry.
Yeah.
Which is unusual for the internet.
Yeah.
And
the internet does not often know disappointment without also knowing anger.
But I think that everybody appreciates the forthrightness of this. And
Totally.
I think this just shows where we're really at a point with fandom that fans appreciate the communication, because all we want is reassurance.
Yes.
You know, like genuinely all we want is somebody to be like, we care, we know you care, and so this is what's going on.
Right. And I mean, part of what he says in the video is like, we know that this is an important series that the Metroid games are important to you, and that the Prime games in particular that there are fans to whom this game and this series are very important, and we know, and we're sorry, we want to make the game good, which is of course all you want as well. So yeah, it seems like Nintendo's doing right.
I think where the tension comes in for these companies is there's also multi-million-dollar marketing plans.
Absolutely.
That they're trying to meter out information at a very specific time. And so they want to communicate with fans, but they also need to stick to this marketing schedule, or they're worried that something they're working on just will never come to fruition, because I'm sure that happens a bunch. That
you can even look like back into the history of Metroid. Like Metroid Dread was a game that was rumored for such a long time, and we assume was something that was well on its way, and then was also canceled mid development. So like, yeah, that does happen, and this game going from wherever it was in development to Retro Studios means all of those people that were working on Prime 4 are either working on something else or not employed by Nintendo to make a game right now. So like, it's a big thing that affects a lot of people's lives. And, if it means that we've got to wait a little bit longer for what will be a better game, there's very little room for us to complain, I think.
I think on the other side of this is the reaction we saw when Diablo 4 was not announced.
Yeah.
And like that Diablo mobile game was.
Yeah.
Like that was a situation where if Blizzard had just done a Metroid Prime 4 and shown a logo and said, hey, we're also working on this, people would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been so upset at the mobile title. So yeah, it's kind of a weird line for these companies to try to toe.
Yeah.
But I think Nintendo did right here.
Always kind of favoring communicate as much as you can, because we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the part that we haven't talked that much about is Retro Studios, based in Austin, Texas, is going to be developing Metroid Prime again.
So, which, great, that makes perfect sense. Let me ask you this. They did not do the porting of Tropical Freeze to Switch, right?
Unknown. I don't.
Okay.
I don't think we know. I don't really think we know exactly what Retro has been working on for a really long time now.
Yeah, well, I guess that's my point. Is that I guess even if they did port Tropical Freeze over to Switch, that can't possibly have been like their whole team and the only thing they've done over the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I would guess that this means that they've got another project ready to launch and ready to launch soon.
Yeah. There were of course the rumors that they have been working on a Star Fox Racer
Yeah.
that is also maybe a spiritual successor to F-Zero.
Mark, you're just saying all the right. You're just saying
I mean,
everything
it's
right,
buzzwords.
right? Retro Studio, Star Fox, F-Zero.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
you know the TED Talk organization does not pay their speakers?
really?
Really?
Maybe it's like a
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Maybe it's like a Super Bowl halftime situation where
They pay you an exposure?
yes, exactly. Right.
Wait. Hold on. Are you telling me that the Super Bowl halftime show act doesn't get paid?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just because like they can't, or
So, currently Pepsi is the sponsor of the halftime show. So technically, they are the ones who are in charge of producing it.
okay?
And my understanding, is that the halftime acts, I'm sure they potentially could get paid, but Pepsi does no. As far as I know,
Halftime
Super Bowl,
acts do not get paid,
Yes.
but they get all the Pepsi they can drink, right?
I mean, a lifetime supply for sure.
Plus, they get to go to the Super Bowl, so like that's not nothing.
Yeah, and you have to work for 20 minutes, and then you can just enjoy the Super Bowl. Cry me a river, whoever's doing it this year. So Star Fox.
Oh, right.
A racing game.
Right. It could be another thing, wasn't there? There were also rumors about like about Retro working on a like unnamed new sci-fi IP.
Yeah. So the latest, the buzz,
Ooh,
as far as I can glean, is that Retro had been working on two titles for a long time, and one of them has potentially been canceled, or like was canceled at some point.
Right.
And then this Star Fox racing game, they were working on, is the rumor. So and then maybe they were porting Metroid Prime trilogy as well.
Sure.
Maybe working on other projects for Nintendo. We know at one point they were like also working on one of the Mario Kart games that has already been released. Like they have also done work on, I think, other like titles here and there.
So they've been doing their good work.
They're a little bit of
here
like a
and there,
utility
yeah.
player. But it wouldn't surprise me if that Star Fox game, whatever Retro's been working on, is winding down, and then this Metroid Prime 4, which apparently they did a pitch for, is how they got it.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though Retro Studios as an entity was responsible for developing the first 3 Metroid Prime games, basically everyone who developed those games is long gone from Retro.
Right. A lot of those guys went over to Halo, right?
Some
studio that
did
is
they?
doing
I know
Halo,
they
yeah.
also. I think some of them opened their own studio, Armature or something.
Oh
that
yes.
made that by all accounts bad. I haven't played it. Batman Arkham game for 3DS.
Oh,
It was like a
Escape from
Metroidvania type thing.
from Blackgate.
I think
Yeah.
so. So yeah, apparently that's how they got Metroid Prime 4. Is they made a pitch for it. They sold Nintendo on their involvement, and now the project is back at Retro Studios.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I don't think you really need to make a case for why Retro is the right studio to be making a new Metroid Prime game, because they obviously have experience making like 5 other Metroid Prime games, including Metroid Prime Pinball, which better be on this collection. But one of the things that I think is so special about Metroid is its ability to tell story passively through what's happening in the backgrounds. And Tropical Freeze is like a excellent example of that. You can see how the various worlds like feed into each other, and like everything makes sense. It seems like they are doing all of the great things that Metroid does in other games already. Like just give it back to them. Let them go hog wild.
As far as other Metroid projects that are in the works right now, it sounds like, again, based on what people are saying online, that Mercury Steam, after the reception of, I always get it backwards, Samus Returns, Return of Samus.
Samus Returns is the remake.
Is the 3DS one.
Yeah.
That they are working on another Metroid project. And the end of Samus Returns kind of sets itself up for a direct sequel.
Yeah, it's called Super Metroid. I mean, that's chronologically that is
great point.
That's what happens.
It's a really solid point.
I mean, what I would love to see is Metroid 5, baby. The series has never gone past Fusion. That's as far in time forward as it's ever gone. And that was like over a decade ago. So like let's keep moving forward in time.
Do you think that this has any implications for Nintendo's 2019? Again,
no, I guess not really, because I was not thinking of this as a 2019 game, and I don't think it makes sense for them to hold, if they do in fact have a Prime Trilogy collection. I don't think it makes any sense to like hold that for 1 year before they're ready to release the next one. Like, just put it out now. We'll be excited for it. We'll be excited for it whenever it comes out.
It's 3 whole games.
Yeah.
You could play one a year.
Look, it better be 4 whole games with Metroid Prime Pinball, or I'm not picking it up. What if they also put Hunters and Federation Force on there?
I would love that. I would love if it's just Hunters, Federation Force, and Pinball, and everybody. It's like one of those like game of telephone where people are like, "Oh, I've heard they're working on a trilogy, but it's not the trilogy everybody thinks it is."
And they just call it Metroid Prime Trilogy 2.
That'd be great.
They could also include the multiplayer part of Metroid Prime 2. They could also do that.
Yeah. I mean, I would absolutely buy a copy because it would be so hilarious. If they do that, let's give away copies on this show.
100%.
Share the beauty of the world.
You hear that, Retro and Nintendo? You put out a Metroid Prime Trilogy 2 on Switch, and Mark and I will buy copies just to give out to our listeners.
Absolutely.
Do you think it's going to affect their 2019 at all?
No, I think you're right that Metroid Prime 4 was not a 2019 title. I think that makes sense. Again, if they were planning on releasing the trilogy this year, that'd be way too much Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just give it to us this year anyway. We'll be great.
Last week, the Nintendo UK YouTube page had a special Nindy highlights presentation that showed off a bunch of new or newish indie games coming to Switch.
Yeah, this thing was cool. Did you get a chance to watch it, Mark?
I did. It was a little weird to me because I'm so used to the Nintendo of America presentations that having this like perky British lady reading it was a new experience for me.
Yeah, and you know, without having the face of the Nindies, Damon Baker, who has moved on from Nintendo. He's working for Xbox now.
I saw that. Yeah, it's a good get for them.
That is a very good get for them. They're gathering little pieces. Xbox is going to be something in years coming up here, but it's not really like a blow you away kind of presentation, but they do show off some kind of cool indie games, including Wargroove, which is out this Friday. We previously did not have a release date, and they showed off like an animated cinematic trailer. The game, of course, is a turn-based strategy game in the style of like Advance Wars or Fire Emblem, but they talked just a little bit more about multiplayer, both online and local, and creation tools. So you can make your own levels, you can make your own campaigns and cutscenes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What does that mean? You can make your own cutscenes. That's incredible.
It sounds super fun.
Comes out this Friday. Like I said earlier in the episode, that's going to be a day one purchase for me. I'm really excited to see if people make a bunch of cool like campaigns and levels and stuff. It's evidently cross-play with Xbox and PC versions of it. So yeah, it seems like this thing is coming. We've had to wait a little bit for it, but it is coming out full featured and with just so much stuff.
And for some reason, I thought that this was a game that had already been released on other platforms, and we were just waiting for the Switch version. But it's all launching together.
All launching at the same time. Yeah,
very cool.
I'll just run through the rest of the games here. There's Double Kick Heroes, which is a heavy metal action rhythm game. So you're a bunch of dudes in the back of a pickup truck playing heavy metal, and you're destroying. You're fighting weird monsters. I saw zombies, chickens, dinosaurs, octopus tanks, and the KKK. They're all among the bad guys. There are over 30 original songs and a bunch of licensed tracks from metal bands. That's coming to Switch first in summer 2019, and you can do like air drum controls for it. So like playing Taiko Drum Master or any sort of drumming rhythm game, but you're killing zombies, so that's fun. When ski lifts go wrong, which is like a bridge builder kind of game. You ever get into those?
No, is it like a physics puzzler a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit like a physics puzzler. It seems a little outside of what I'm into. Forager is a top-down open world resource gathering kind of game. Looks like the original Zelda meets Stardew Valley. Does this one tickle your interest at all? I know
It
you're
looks
a
interesting.
Stardew Valley guy.
Yeah.
And then also Goat Simulator, the GOATY. So the greatest of all time year. I don't know what GOATY.
I don't know if it stands for anything. They called it Goat Simulator the Goaty.
Well, I mean, who knows? No one knows. Goat Simulator is a curious game. Anyway, where you just control a goat and you move around in like a environment with physics and like weird stuff happens. It's a famously glitchy game, but this version that's coming to Switch this year includes all of the previously released DLC. Unruly Heroes is a 4-player action platformer. That one's available now. Crosscode is a 16-bit top-down action RPG that kind of looks like a snappier, more action focused version of Secret of Mana or Secret of Evermore, which are games that I both like a lot. It's coming to 2019. They're coming in 2019 with a, quote, whole host of exclusive content. And then the last thing that they showed off was SteamWorld Quest: Hand of Gilgamesh, which is a SteamWorld game in the world of SteamWorld, but it is an RPG where you use cards to execute attacks and moves and stuff like that. So you build your deck and then use it to fight, which is pretty cool. We both played SteamWorld Dig 2, and that's a good game. So this may also be a good game. Any of these of interest to you, Mark?
I'm a little bit wait and see on all of them. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff looked cool.
Yep.
Nintendo had previously announced that Splatoon 2 would stop receiving updates at the end of 2018, but turns out maybe that's not the case. At the Splatoon Koishin 2019 tournament last week, Nintendo revealed that more weapons are coming soon. They also said they were planning another update, but didn't tease any more details about that. They'll also be releasing a demo version of the game, at least in Japan, accessible March 26th to April 1st. No word on if the demo will be released outside of Japan.
And when are we getting a new ARMS character?
Yeah, that one, I think they are done.
They are good. They are good to their word on that one. Yeah, I guess it's not really a surprise to me that even though they said they were done supporting Splatoon 2, that they will keep adding to it, because the game is still like a phenomenon and people are still actively playing it a bunch.
Yeah, and it seems to be like a consistent seller in the US.
Yeah.
So even though the game has been out for like 18 months at this point, especially with as big of a Christmas as the Switch just had, there still have to be a lot of new people who are coming to Splatoon 2.
Yeah, well, I wonder if there's also like, if it is lifted by the success of Fortnite, that people want a game that is like similar to it but different enough that it's not. And Splatoon and Fortnite have a lot of, I feel like they have a lot of things in common, that it's just go on, play a couple matches, a third person shooter with like cartoony aesthetics. Like, it's a short jump from one to the other.
A poster on Reddit shared an image showing new amiibo for the Super Smash Bros. Line. They include Pokemon Trainer, Snake, Ivysaur, Squirtle, Dark Samus, Chrom, Simon, and Richter. The image is purported to come from the Japanese Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Guide.
So I have not seen this poster yet, but you're telling me that the Pokemon Trainer, Ivysaur, and Squirtle are all different amiibos?
That's what they're telling me.
Because, I mean, obviously the Charizard is its own amiibo already, because he was alone in Smash 4 and by himself and was just an amiibo. But if they're making the other two Pokemon of the Pokemon Trainer and the Pokemon Trainer itself, you could have 4 Pokemon for this one character, 4 amiibo for this one character.
I kind of like the idea of the Pokemon Trainer one. That sounds fun. So does Dark Samus for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the Metroid amiibo. I'm trying to not as obsessively buy all of them going forward, but I will get Dark Samus. I feel like that is a no-brainer for me.
Also, Snake, yes.
Yes.
Simon and Richter, fun.
Right?
But for your sake, Patrick, I hope these are fake.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
They would also bring me happiness. You know this, right?
Okay, well then, in that case, I hope whatever brings you the most happiness turns out to be true.
Well, in that case,
The sun will come out tomorrow.
I was going to say Metroid Prime Pinball, of course.
Speaking of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which we were just doing, January 31st is the last day to register the game with My Nintendo so you can pick up your free Piranha Plant DLC.
Yes, so if you bought this game digitally or physically, either way, you have to redeem this code to get your Piranha Plant. Is that not correct?
If you bought it physically, it just happens.
Physically or digitally?
Sorry, digitally, it just happens as long as you're like signed in. Oh no, you're right.
You still have to.
You're
go,
right
you
because
still
they
get
sent
the
you an email.
Right.
You're right.
So if you buy the game digitally, they sent you an email. If you buy the game physically and you register it, they send you an email.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Either way, you need to find this email. Look through your emails for Nintendo Piranha Plant. And if you're not me or Mark, always sending each other emails about the Piranha Plant, you will be able to find it pretty easily. And then you enter in the code there into the Nintendo, eShop, the Switch eShop, and then you will get the Piranha Plant when it unlocks in February. Otherwise, we're not really clear on what the path is for getting it if you don't get it as part of this like early adopter.
Yeah, does it
program.
just become regular DLC? Like, do you have to buy it?
He's not part of the 5-fighter DLC pack. So if you spent the $20 to download the other characters, he's not part of that. Will they make him available separately as his own thing? Maybe. We don't know.
He may be coming very soon because there's a news update in the game saying that version 2.0.0 of the game will be coming sometime in the next few days.
Okay.
And
we were told February, right?
Right,
Okay.
which Friday is February 1st.
That's right. Wargroove Day, baby.
They also warn you to convert any replay videos you may have, or any replays you may have to videos now, because once you update to version 2.0.0, live replays created in previous versions become inaccessible.
What a weird little bug there.
Maybe we'll finally see that Smash World feature that was teased or like
point.
promised. It's supposed to be like a kind of like Splatnet type feature for the Nintendo Switch Online app.
Right, but that's Smash focused, and they also like
video sharing.
Yeah, well, and so maybe that's why videos from before this update won't be accessible. That's what they were pushing. They were like, this is not a stats driven. It's not going to be like you won this many fights or you won this. It's a way to share the funny and exciting moments that you had with other people, and not a way of just saying, yeah, I played for 100 hours and won a bunch of fights.
Finally, yesterday Nintendo released Switch Update version 7.0.0. Includes 6 new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe user icons. That's 6 new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe user icons. And the home menu language, it now supports Chinese, Korean, and Taiwanese.
That's nice. What is your icon at present? Is it still KK Slider?
No, it's Goomba with a mustache.
Goomba
from,
with a mustache.
Odyssey.
I'm currently rocking a me. But maybe I want to change over to Nabbit. Maybe I want to be Nabbit.
Maybe I want to be Toadette.
Maybe I want to be Peachette. Maybe I want to be the Blue Toad. I don't think that's right.
I don't know.
All right, Mark, let's get out of the news. And that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. If you would please rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, all of that helps us out tremendously. If you like this episode, you could share it with your friends or on social networking platforms or wherever you can share anything. Are you on a park bench? You can turn to the person next to you and say, hey, do you like Nintendo? And before they can finish saying, who are you and why are you talking to me? You put your earbuds into their ears and push play on your favorite episode. This one, maybe. Who knows? That helps us out a lot. You can follow us on Twitter I'm at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at Nin Kart Society. You can check out the Facebook page, which is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of 8-Bit Betty's music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers uncanceling this episode. We're taking it back from Retro so that they can have more time to make Metroid Prime Pinball. Thank you for listening.
Campfire.